Hi babe, before we get started today, if you are loving the podcast and you want to go deeper, you can now get full access to all of my exclusive content within the membership completely free for 7 whole days. Click the link in my bio and unlock the vault. Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 130. Thank you so much for joining me, and a massive thank you for all of your lovely messages that I've received this week about last week's episode where I just snotted all the way through. You are truly such a lovely bunch of people and I'm so grateful for you, and I'm really glad that a lot of you said that resonated with you and that you've experienced that yourself, or maybe you are experiencing that upper limit problem right now and that it's helped you to realise what it is and break through it. So that's good. At least the snot served some purpose. So I'm in a much, much better frame of mind this week. Very excited. I've got lots of things going on, lots of plans. I have had an amazing week inside the vault with my clients. I've just added a brand new feature to it, which I'm thrilled about because you can probably guess I love a voice note. Big fan of a voice note, being a podcaster. And I didn't have a way that I could voice note people or send messages sort of in a group chat. It's more like a community page, which is amazing and it works really well. But I was just missing that closer connection with my members. So I've set up a new feature, which is a Telegram chat. So that's exciting. And this week I've been running, well, I'm in the middle of it now. We're on day 2. There's another day tomorrow of a challenge to do with money mindset called Frequency of Wealth, which I'm really enjoying, and I've had some amazing feedback on that. And we are starting Consciously Wealthy on the 5th of June. I know I have got an advert in here somewhere that says we started in May, but please ignore that because we did not start in May. I took a month's break in between and we started it on the 5th of June. So if you would like to come and rewire your mind so that you can create more wealth, please join us. It will be incredible and I'm very excited. I actually had a message from one of my clients who took part in the first round of it today, and I just want to take a second to celebrate her and share this with you. I'm not going to share her personal circumstances. However, I am going to tell you a few little key details about her. So this lady, who is amazing and is one of my members, joined Consciously Wealthy regardless of her circumstances. So at the time, she had just transitioned out of her employed job in quite traumatic circumstances. It wasn't a nice transition out of employment. There were lots of things going on for her that were very upsetting, that were difficult circumstances. And she was really struggling financially. She was struggling with debt. She was struggling with not having enough money to pay her bills. And to the point where I actually said to her, this probably isn't the right time to join because I don't want you to feel like you're under more pressure. And regardless of that, she decided she knew that it was right. She followed her intuition against the logic and she jumped into it. And she messaged me today because she's been a little bit quiet since we finished our 4 weeks together, because that's sort of around about 3 weeks ago now. But this work is not finished at the end of the 4 weeks because it's information that will serve you for a lifetime and that you can continue to embody to keep reaching new levels of wealth. So I was a little bit like, oh, I hope she's okay. Like, I've not spoke to her for a few weeks. She's been a bit quiet. And she sent me a message today saying, sorry, I've been a bit quiet. It's because I've been busy, basically. I can't remember exactly what she said, but it's because she's been busy because she's signed 4 clients. Now, one client to this lady is like a big job because it's not like, a 1 week session. It's months of a job. And she has signed 4 clients. And I am so fucking proud of her, as well as all the other women in there who are also incredible and shared their wins as well. But I just really wanted to show you that circumstances literally do not matter. You can be in a really shit place, and you have got the power within you to turn it all around if you are willing to choose something better, to make a decision, to operate from a new state, you absolutely can turn it around completely. So just celebrating her. I'm not going to share who it is, but if you are listening, absolutely amazing. So proud of you. Anyway, so let's talk about what we're going to talk about today, which sort of ties in with what I've just been saying. Oh, I think I've got hiccups. While we're on the subject of hiccups, I feel like I need to share this life advice, absolutely unrelated to manifestation. But did you know that if you've got hiccups and you breathe a full breath in and then you keep swallowing while you're holding the breath, the hiccups go away? Nobody told me that. I've just learnt that now. I've had a fucking lifetime of hiccuping for hours on end. Could have been prevented by that. So if you didn't know that, you're welcome. So this week, I want to talk to you about why you should burn your boats, right? And you might have heard that expression before, you might not, and I'm going to talk about where that comes from in a second. But what that means is why your plan B is fucking up your plan A. Your plan B is something that we have been conditioned to think is a good idea. We should always have a plan B. I want to do this, but what if it don't work out? Well, I need a plan B, right? And I want to put it to you today that actually your plan B is the fucking problem. The plan B is fucking up your plan A. So I'm going to tell you a little story, which I'm making half of it up, I'll be honest, because I can't remember the details of it, but we'll get the gist of it. So there was a man called Alexander the Great a few years ago. I don't know the date, but he was invading Persia. I don't know if he was a dickhead. I don't know anything about him. I just know this story. So Alexander the Great was invading Persia for one reason or another, which I don't know. And when he arrived, him and his men, and I don't think there were very many of them, let's say there were 5 boats, I don't know. But these 5 boats pulled up on the shore in Persia, and they were overwhelmed by the people who were ready to fight them to keep hold of Persia, I'd imagine. So when they pulled up, he noticed that his men were looking a bit sheepish all of a sudden, looking a bit nervous, like kept glancing back at the boats and thinking, fuck this, I'm going home. So because of that, he knew that they were going to have real problems winning this war so that they could invade Persia, because there were too many people opposite them, too many people on the beach. They were overpowered, outnumbered, right? So he decided to tell all of the men that they had to go and burn the boats that they'd arrived in, right? So he forced these men to go back and set fire to the boats that they had arrived in, because he knew that by doing that, they would fight more for the invasion. They would win, basically. So he told them that we go home in Persian boats or not at all. And that, although a bit of a ruthless story, is what caused them to win that fight. So they were outnumbered. The circumstances were not looking good, guys. They were not looking good. But they won that because they didn't have a plan B. They had burnt the boats. There was no going home unless they won. So the stakes were very, very high. And this is what you need to really understand. People are afraid of failing. They're so afraid of getting something wrong that often they don't even start. They won't even take the first step. And when I was speaking at this event that I was at a week or so ago, one of the things that I shared with the women in there was about the statistics of people who start a business. So this is relevant to what I'm talking about, but like specifically about business. Only 10% statistically of all of the people who would like to start a business ever do it. Only 10% of the people who have got this exciting idea that think, oh my God, like I could change my life. I could have impact on other people. I could do this incredible thing and like work in what I'm passionate about. Only 10% will even try to do that. And only 20% of those 10% are women. So if you are listening and you are a woman in business, fucking well done, because you are a very small percent. Or even if you are not a woman in business, if you are a man in business, well done. And even if you are not going for your business, you are going for a different goal, another thing that seems like, oh, this might not be possible, but you're doing it anyway, amazing, well done, because most people will not do that, and it's a fear of failure. But failure is an absolutely essential part of the process. You cannot become successful without failure. And we're told that failure is like this bad thing that we should avoid. And it's not. It's something that we should actively seek to do in order to keep learning. Failure is not what you should be afraid of. Doubt is what's going to stop you from achieving what you desire. That's the only thing that's going to get in your way. Doubt. It's not failure. It doesn't fucking matter how many times you fail. And you'll see that people who are a bit further ahead than you in whatever it is you're doing, whether it's a fitness journey, whether it's to do with relationships, whether it's to do with business, money, whatever it is, the people who you look at and think, oh, I would like to do that, they are never going to be the ones who are criticising you for trying. They will be the ones who are cheering you on, regardless of how messy it is, how many times you fuck it up. They will be cheering you on because they have also done that. And that's how they have become successful at whatever it is that they're successful at, whatever the vision is. The people who are maybe a bit critical or a bit judgy of what you're doing, they are the people who are never going to start. They're in the 90% of people. So don't be afraid of failure. It's not going to do you any harm. It's literally going to teach you how to get better. So something that I do that is in like the membership and also that I do with my one-to-one clients that is incredibly effective for manifestation is getting them to speak from the vision, right? And that sounds very obvious and you think, yeah, well, I speak from my vision all the time. I think about it and, you know, I do all these things. But have you got the bollocks to go to your hairdresser and tell her what your vision is and say it as if it's already done? So an example of this is if, like, say you were leaving your job like I did, saying, I've handed my notice in when you've not actually handed your notice in. Would you have the bollocks to say that? Because that is speaking from the vision. And the reason why that is important that you're able to do that is because it shows that you don't have any doubt. You have burnt your boats, you're not going back. You've said it, you've spoke it out loud. Speaking from the vision is an amazing way to test how much faith you have got in your vision. And if you feel like you're uncomfortable saying it out loud, that's probably because you are actually still full of doubt about it. But when you are consistently thinking from that place and you're conditioning your mind over and over and over and over again, and you're connecting to the why you want it and feeling that emotional impact, you won't feel like that anymore. You will be able to speak from the vision because you already know that it's done. It's yours. It doesn't matter that there's no evidence in the 3D. That is absolutely irrelevant. No part of that relies on evidence in the 3D. It's all about your faith, your assumption, your willingness to burn your boat, to commit to what you desire and not keep going back to safety, not keep running back to your boats. Set the fucker on fire. Speak from the vision every day. Because we are conditioned to believe that what we have in the 3D, the evidence that we've got is real. It's not. Nothing's real. Nothing's fixed. Nothing's fact. Everything that you see around you that you're experiencing now is a shadow of what you created through your assumptions. So your power is always in right now. It's always in what you are thinking about right now, what you are assuming to be true right now. Everything else has to fall into line with those assumptions. It has to. That's the law. It's the law of assumption. That's why it's called that. But move out of this idea that what you see around you is real. What's real is what's in your imagination. That is the only real thing. I want you to look around your room right now, like wherever you're listening, whether you're in the car, whatever, it doesn't matter. Literally doesn't matter where you are. unless you are in the garden and you're surrounded by nature, I want you to notice that every single thing in your room has first been made real in somebody's imagination. So I'm going to tell you 5 things that I can see now. A candle. That candle has been created in somebody's imagination. I don't know whose imagination. I love a candle, so thanks to that person. But that has been created in somebody's imagination first. Somebody came up with the idea, and then they thought, you know what, that'd be really fucking good. And they made it. A chair. At some point in history, people were just standing up, I'd assume, or maybe they were lying on the floor. But they certainly weren't sitting on a chair until one day, maybe somebody along the line, just after a caveman, thought, fuck this, I'm not sitting on the floor anymore. I'm going to make something that props me up off the ground. And the chair was born. And there we have it. A radiator. Somebody has come up with the idea of a radiator that you could have heat in your home without setting fire to something. A fridge. Somebody thought about making a fridge. It wasn't that long ago. Like, people didn't have fridges that long back. Somebody came up with that idea in their imagination that they could make a cupboard that was cold that would keep food fresh. An oven, a notepad, a sofa, a rug, a telly, an iPhone. Every single thing around you that you can see. A book. This is a really good book, actually. I'm going to just tell you what it's called. The World is As You Are by Nada Amari. It's a contender for this month's book club. If you're not already in there, come and join us and place your vote. It's $2 a month. But every single thing that you see around you has first been created in somebody's imagination. So why would you think that the 3D is what's creating the 3D has any power? That chair doesn't have any fucking power over the rest of the furniture that will arrive in my house. It doesn't. It's just a product of somebody's imagination. So start to use these ideas, like these sort of like, moments to recognise that everything is born in your imagination, of your imagination. So when you understand that, you can see why it's so important to make assumptions in line with what you desire, because it's almost like when somebody's pregnant, you're cooking what's going to be birthed into the 3D. Maybe cooking's not the right word for a child. I don't know, what would you call it? Cooking a child, baking a child, I don't know. But do you know what I mean? Like, whatever's going on in your head is the equivalent to somebody being pregnant before the kid arrives. You're making it. You're creating it. So really focus your attention on what you desire at all times without any doubt. You don't need to doubt it, because if it's in there, it's coming out here. Just a quick break to tell you that I have launched a brand new coaching program, which is all about manifesting money. Consciously Wealthy, 4 weeks to rewire for wealth, and we're starting at the end of March. There are only 6 spaces in total, and some of those have already gone. So if you want to be a part of this life-changing program that took me from red letters to 12k in just a few months, click the link in my bio to save your space now. So, if you can see it in your consciousness, why are you doubting it? You don't need to doubt it. There's only you. There's nobody else. There's nothing outside of you. Nobody else is calling the shots. You, as much as I think, yep, you probably have got spirit guides and they're a part of my belief system, I certainly don't think they're sat there thinking, no, fuck that, she's not having that. No, that's not for her. I don't think there's anybody sat on a cloud dictating whether I'm allowed it. Don't think there's anything like divine timing, where, on at least not in the way that people think of it, like, it's not your time yet, you're going to get it. No, your divine timing is when you decide you're having it and you consistently think from that place. I don't think there's anything like luck or anything outside of you. I know there isn't. It's you on your own. You're creating it all. So stop doubting yourself, because why the fuck would you be doubting yourself? Like, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense to doubt yourself. So you can remove all of that doubt now. You can remove your fear of failure. You can burn all your fucking boats, and you can stay in your vision, regardless of what you see in the 3D, knowing that it's just old news. It's what came before in your imagination being birthed into the 3D. But if you continue keeping one foot in each camp, if you step into your vision and then you keep switching back when something starts to like look a bit like it's falling apart in the 3D, which again is a part of it. If you want something new, the old has to break down first. You're going to keep getting inconsistent results because you're watering down your power. You go into this identity and then you're going, oh no, I better not. You're running back to your boat. You're going onto the beach, then you're running back to your boat. You're going onto the beach, you're running back to your boat. Pick a identity and stay there consistently. And the best way that you can do that is remove that old identity, burn the boat, remove the old identity, don't go back to it. Because then you have to embody the new identity. You have to become that version. You've got no choice. So actually giving yourself no option can be a really, really good thing for manifestation. You often hear about when somebody does something incredible and people say, oh my God, I don't know you did that. Well, generally speaking, it's because they had no choice. They just didn't have a choice. So they were suddenly able to do something that when they had a choice to run back to safety, maybe they couldn't do, or they felt like they couldn't do. You see people who, like women, small women who lift a car up because the toddler is stuck underneath it. Well, they always had the capacity to do that, but they couldn't before because they didn't have to. When you have to, when you have no choice, you suddenly become like very powerful. So you can actually like hack that by removing the old life yourself, like intentionally get rid of it. You're not going back there. If you think I don't want to go back there, stop hanging on to bits of it. You don't need to do that. That plan B is not serving you. It is fucking up your plan A. The safety net that you keep underneath yourself is causing you to keep going backwards into the old identity. You don't need a safety net because you are the power. You are the power. You don't need a safety net. You don't need anybody else to scoop you back up. You need to save yourself. You need to create that vision. You need to live as if it's already done. You're the one who can change your life. You don't need to be afraid of anything because you're in control when you know that, when you step into your power. I'm going to ask you a question that sounds a bit like harsh, but it's necessary, right? I want you to think about how likely is it that you think you could make £1 million in the next 12 months? I just want you to sit with that for a second. And on a scale of 1 to 10, like 0 would be absolutely not, there's no chance. 10 would be, it's already done. Like, no problem. Well, maybe not no problem, but like, absolutely, I could do that. Where are you at there? If I said, what is the chances of you making £1 million in the next year? Right? Have you got your number? Now, if I said, if you don't make £1 million in the next year, all your family are going to be killed. What number are you at now? I know that sounds really harsh, and obviously it's not a nice thing to think about, but I just want you to notice how your number just drastically shot up that scale from probably somewhere around the 2 to 3 area, if you were lucky, maybe 1 to 2, to somewhere around the 9 to 10 area. Because I can tell you now, if my family, the people that I love the most, were going to be killed if I didn't bring in £1 million in the next 12 months, I would be making £1 million without a fucking doubt. So that just shows you that actually there is nothing standing in your way. It's not the circumstances, it's the doubt. It's the, oh, but I don't know, I might go back, I'm not sure. When there is no I'm not sure, when there is no safety net, when there is no plan B, when there is no boats, you're doing it. That's it, you are doing it. You've got to have some kind of skin in the game. You've got to make it so that you can't go back. This is why my clients will get results, because I make them invest in themselves. I do. Like, I offer small, like lower ticket offers for people to come into my world so people can join the membership. There's no tie-in. I offer annual membership for people who want to go in a bit deeper. And I offer like standalone programs. So to come inside Consciously Wealthy, it's £599. And there's a reason for that. First of all, it's fucking class. And you're going to have a complete transformation. Secondly, you are invested. You're going to show up. You're going to listen to every one of the trainings. You're going to do every one of the embodiment tasks. And you're going to continue to use everything that we've done together in 4 weeks moving forward. That's where the transformation lies. I can't force you, but what I can do is make you put some skin in the game. Because when you do that, things are different. You've burnt your boats. You're not going back. You're not stepping into an old identity. As soon as you step into that investment, whatever it is, and it doesn't have to be with me, I mean with anything, you're different. Energetically, you've said, I'm fucking doing this. I'm doing it. I've made the decision. Otherwise, go and buy a self-development book. You could read a book. It's literally, how much was this one? Is it 12 quid? There's life-changing information inside a self-development book. But you're probably not going to fucking do anything with it, babe, because you've got no skin in the game. This is why I left my job with no income. Everybody was saying, just wait till summer. Why? What am I waiting till summer for? I'm still going to have no income at the end. I was told by lots of people who were really well-intentioned, people who love me, to build up my business to the point where it replaced my income and to make sure that I was, safe or save up. No, I knew that I wasn't going to do it, because until I had no income and no way to pay my bills, I wasn't going to make it happen. And the chances are neither are you, because you need that level of drive. You need to know that you can't get back in your boat, so that you will keep going with everything that you have got in the direction of your desires, of your new life. And it's an illusion to think that you can keep this safety net and still be as successful as you could be in whatever area it is. If you are somebody who is thinking about this, like as in thinking about starting a business, and I know this won't be everyone, so this maybe doesn't apply to you, but it might do, so just listen to this for a second. If you were to leave your job and you were to go and start that business, your mind will probably start to tell you, oh, but what if this? But what if that? Oh my God, what if my house gets repossessed? What if this happens? Let me tell you what the worst case scenario is if you were to take that leap. You go back to what you're doing right now. Your worst case scenario is your current reality. And I think people really don't see that, because your mind, to keep you safe, will start catastrophizing all of these ridiculous things, and it will keep presenting you with all of this false evidence to show you that this is so dangerous, because it wants you to stay safe, babe. It wants you to stay where you are, and it'll say, start next week. Why don't you start next month? Oh, when you've got time, you're a bit tired now, or you're not so well this week. Why don't you do it next week? It's a fucking trap. Your worst case scenario is your current reality. And trust me, once you've gone, you will not go back. So I need you to ask yourself, do you want an ordinary life, or do you want an extraordinary one? Because if you want an ordinary life, you can continue in that safety net. You can continue with your plan B. You can dip your toe into plan A and maybe think, oh yeah, I'll make plans and one day I'll do that and blah, 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 blah. Or you can decide right now, fuck this, I am not operating from this place anymore. I am not allowing my circumstances to keep holding me back. I am not allowing what it says in my bank account, or how much time I've got, or how much energy I've got, or how busy I am right now to tell me how I'm going to move next. I'm going to tap into the vision. I'm going to look at the version of me who already has it, and I'm going to act accordingly. And if you do that, you will create your desired reality without fail. There is no risk involved, because you are the creator. And when you understand that on a really, really deep level, and you start to apply that and embody it, you'll see that you're the creator. You can see it right now. Pick a random object. You're going to see it all over your reality. We did it with pelicans a bit ago. Think of a pelican now. You're going to fucking see a pelican, because you're the creator of your reality all the time. So test it. Test manifestation out on small things, because I really want you to understand your own power and also understand that the tricks that your mind will play on you to keep you there. You are never going to change your life when it's convenient. You're going to do it either now or never. That's it. You've only ever got now. Don't be afraid of failing. Failure is a stepping stone to success. And if you knew that you had to fail 10 times in order to get it right, you would be fucking jumping over those rocks and desperate to fall off them. But most people fall off them and then they swim back to the side and they go back to safety. Keep moving, keep going forward. If you wanted to ride a bike, you would have to take the stabilizers off at some point. You have to accept that you're going to graze your knees while you're learning to ride a bike. It's a part of the process. Nobody's going to laugh at your grazed knees. They're going to say, well, maybe they will if you're 35, I don't know. But like when you were a kid, you didn't think, oh my God, I've grazed my knees, that's it, I'm shit at riding a bike. You just got back on and you got back on and you got back on. But as you get older, you start to get more and more safe. And safety is the least fucking safe thing there is. It's such a contradiction, but staying in a safe job, in a safe relationship, in a safe little life is the least safe you can be, because you will get to the end of your life and think, fuck, I never did it. The Monday never came. The next week never came. I never did it when the kids grew up. I never did it when. You've got to do it now, babe. Let go of that safe plan B. Burn your boats and move with everything you fucking have in the direction of the life that you desire, and you will get it. So that is what I've got for you this week. I hope that you have found this episode useful. Let me give myself a round of applause for showing up in a week instead of in a month. Woohoo! I've broken the cycle. And if you do want to join us for Consciously Wealthy, you can find the link in my Instagram bio. It's £599. You can pay in 3. We start on the 5th of June and it's going to be fucking amazing. So I will see you in there and have an amazing week. I will see you in 7 days' time. Thanks for listening to today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it and found value from it. If you did, I would be eternally grateful if you would go and leave me an Apple review. It's literally the only way that this podcast can grow. So I'm so grateful for every single one of your reviews. Have a great week.